gotten to learn a bit about everyone with regards to what you do and your businesses. So now maybe you can tell us something people don't know about you, something interesting about you that not many people know.
Okay, so for me, I am an adrenaline junkie.
Oh.
Yes, so I love extreme sports, skydiving, bungee jumping. I can swim with sharks if given a chance.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not a morning person, so my mind does not function before 9 a.m.
Wow.
At all.
Okay.
I am the biggest morning person you can meet. I'm that annoying person who will wake up together in the morning and I'm the loudest one. I'll switch on all the lights. And I'm like, guys, you know, we need to take this day. I'm like that. So I'm very much a morning person. Something maybe many people don't know is I actually studied fashion in school, and it was actually my dad who pushed me into studying fashion design. When I finished school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and I know I did business school for a bit, and then my dad is actually the one who said like, yo, why don't you try studying fashion, because he bought me my first sewing machine when I was 13.
Oh wow.
And I found a closet with my mom's old clothes, so I used to just like take the clothes, alter them, take out the sleeves, and you know, make them cool, and then go to church with these clothes. So once I finished school and I went to business school for about a year, that got boring, and then my dad was like, oh, why don't you try fashion? And I was like, oh, I didn't even know you could study that. And I was like, I tried it and I was like, cool, it was nice.
For me, it's mostly, I think, career path. Because I studied procurement in school, but I've basically worked in almost every industry. Yeah. So I was an actress for a while. I don't know if anyone ever saw that show.
Which show was that?
I was an actress.
You never saw her?
No, which show?
KTN.
What was the show?
Yeah.
Oh wow! No, actually, I remember that show, but I've never actually like watched it. But I remember.
Yes, like a shady chick. It was a very interesting character, and I loved it. But I was in uni at that time. And then I did a bit of modeling as well. And then when I was finishing uni is when I actually bumped into a friend who was working in eCommerce. And then I just like took the job, and I wasn't even too sure about it, but I took it into fashion. I started doing fashion for eCommerce. And then now, years later, I'm handling electronics and home and living. So for me, it's just like I never honestly thought this is where I would be. So it kind of shows you how life can also like turn you around for the best.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're patient and if you keep it going, So also, I think one other thing in terms of being adventurous, I grew up as a tomboy. I wanted to be a boy when I was a kid.
Wow.
So did anyone who knows me? Yeah.
So did I. And then it turns out that you become the most girly and feminine
After,
So this year I've dedicated it to like finding my inner tomboy. So I'm going on a lot more hikes.
Wow.
And it's really like the inner child is coming out and having fun in the same time. Yeah.
Oh wow! I'm so impressed. Like you can clearly see, as women, we're daring for more, pushing the boundaries, and you know, we're not sticking to that box that society has tried to stick us in, and that we're here like fighting to get out of, which is very interesting. So now I want us just to hear a bit more about your products and your businesses. So Michelle, maybe you can tell us a bit more about Marini.
Great. So Marini, first of all, is actually a Swahili name that means naturally beautiful. Yeah, naturally beautiful without.
I didn't know that.
Without many enhancements.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's deep Tanzanian Swahili. So as I mentioned, we founded the company. I have a co-founder. She's called Nyati Patel. I founded the company together with her in 2015. That's when we first hit the market, though the idea was there from 2013. I mentioned earlier that we started selling Marini through a tent, but even before that, this is a product I started mixing in my bathroom. So it just goes to show how dreams can actually turn into something viable and something real. I remember watching YouTube, so I'd cut my hair and gone natural in 2013. And I remember watching YouTube videos of Black American girls doing their hair with I don't know, flaxseed gel and whatnot. And I really wanted my hair to look like that. So I spent nights mixing products because the products they were using were very expensive. So I ended up having to order from Amazon or eBay what they were using. And for me, it just couldn't keep going on like that. I was spending...
It wasn't cost effective.
It wasn't. I was spending like $100 just on hair care. Yeah, so I thought to myself, this for me is like a eureka moment. I thought to myself, like, why isn't anyone making products for people of natural hair, people who decided to go natural. If the ingredients are natural, it's flaxseed gel, it's coconut oil, shea butter, things we can find in our very own backyard. Why do we have to spend so much money? So that's when the idea hit me. And I began the range just like a joke. And initially, Marini started primarily as a targeted towards women. But now we have a kids range. The yellow collection is the kids range. The beige collection is the unisex range, and the orange collection is the women's range. And
so Kawi, maybe you can tell us a bit about this product and how you saw it fitting into our platform, and maybe like how you categorized it, how can people access it? Yeah.
So actually, at Masoko, we're very passionate about promoting local businesses and also helping you like get off the ground and grow your brand as well with us. So we decided to launch a Made in Kenya section that's still coming up. So that's how we spotted Marini. It's a beloved local brand that a lot of people are using, and also personally I use it and I love it. So I was like, fast Marini. So so we identified a gap. We found local and loved products, and then the same for Icon as well, very popular brand as well. So we reached out to them, and then we onboarded them.
Icon is a women's wear brand, and we started approximately 3.5 years ago. And the reason actually that I started the brand was because, okay, let me start from the beginning. Actually, when I finished fashion school, I knew I wanted to get into ready-to-wear. And for me, it was mostly because I felt there was such a gap when it came to ready-to-wear, locally made clothing. Every other designer I knew was doing custom made, right? But then there wasn't anybody actually meeting this need of people who wanted to wear locally made products that were responsive, on time, and they were all made locally. So for me, that's what I knew I wanted to get into. But then obviously getting into something like that needed a lot of capital. You know, it's not the same as custom made where you get a deposit and then you're able to sort of, you know. So off the jump, I knew I needed a lot of capital, but I also didn't want to ask anybody. I wanted to see if my idea was viable first. So actually, before I even started Icon, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I actually started a business where I would resell secondhand clothing. And that's how I raised money to start the brand.
Michelle, when it comes to Marini, like you said, when this whole natural hair care line and this whole wave of natural hair came about, the popular brands were the American brands, the shea butters and everything like that. And what gave you that strength, you know, believing in your purpose that mine is a locally owned brand that people now will be able to easily access, and how did you encourage yourself to keep going and, you know, getting to where you are now?
I think first and foremost, the thing that worked great for me is there was a very clear gap in the market that was unfulfilled by anybody at the time. As I mentioned, Marini is the first hair care line that caters to men and women of natural hair. So there was a huge gap in the market. Everybody who was going natural was ordering from abroad, like if their friend is going to the US, the UK, and it just became like you can't live like that. You can't be getting products
all
from
the
your
time.
friends who are going to the States and whatnot. So that already just gave me the confidence.
I'm sure there are women out there who think that they don't want to do the traditional like careers and do the traditional business, IT, and they don't know how to break into that cycle, or maybe there are people who are not supporting them. How can you encourage women to join and do what it is exactly that they're passionate about?
Once you've pinpointed whatever it is, whatever business you're looking to get into, it could be anything. Just make sure you learn the skill first, because once you have that skill, no one can take it away from you. No one can try and, you know, dupe you or lie to you or trying to take more money from you. If you don't know that, then you're just like feeling around in the dark.